Hello and welcome back to our series AI Automation in Service Industries. I'm your host Stefan, and if you're new to this series is basically showcasing some real use cases of how AI and automation can be applied in various industries. We're focusing specifically on various service industries. So in the past 3 episodes, we focused a lot on the applications of AI and automation in the legal sector. And in this and the coming 2 videos, we'll be focusing specifically on the consulting industry. So let's get right ahead. How can AI be applied for scaling consulting services? So here we have a document, generally can be used as both a standalone resource and a guide to this video in general. But what's important to see here is that consulting is traditionally known for its reliance on human expertise, and this is why it's really interesting with AI and automation in practice in the consulting sector, because it allows human expertise to be enhanced so significantly by using AI to automate routine tasks, enhance decision making, improve client interaction, to do a lot more in general. But with the exact same personnel, with the exact same people, by just using these tools in practice, you can get so much more done if you use these tools in the right way. And we can see how AI adoption generally is surging so significantly in the market in general. McKinsey did a global survey earlier this year, finding that 72% of organizations are now using AI, which has significantly increased. You know, ChatGPT just started in 2022. It took off completely during 2023, and now during 2024 has been the year where businesses have started to adopt it to a larger extent. So it will be really interesting to see how it evolves into 2025, but it's already getting well ahead with exploring this phase. So if you're downloading this document from the description, you can see here and go to the link here to see the full see the full survey, all of the statistics here. It also says that here that generative AI adoption has nearly doubled from the previous year. 65% of respondents reporting regular use and at least one business function. Also seeing adopting the use of AI across multiple areas: marketing, sales, product development, and IT. So a lot of different functions are being affected by this in business in general, but consulting, this has applications for both how consulting businesses are run and administered internally for scaling their business, but also for the kind of services they're doing for their clients, for the businesses that they're doing consulting for, as this is affecting so many various industries, so many different sectors across the business arena in general. So real important for consultants to know this, both for how to run their businesses internally, but also how to use this out in the market and understanding their clients' mentality, understanding their clients' needs, and what kind of tools are applicable and available in this day and age to actually satisfy that. Let's get right into some of the things about automation of administrative tasks. Here is where these really interesting no-code automation tools come into the pictures, like Make and Zapier especially. I've used Make a lot for process automation. I made a few videos with them, like build a proposal generator. I compare here how to set this up in Make compared to doing manual coding in JavaScript for setting up such a proposal generator, and also did one showcasing how I've set up some kind of content management system in Notion by using Make automations as well. Zapier is another alternative, pretty similar to Make. There are also some other alternatives like Bubble, 8n and so on, but it's really a matter of is it possible to solve your task based on that with these automation tools, and finding which of these tools work well for you to apply when setting up these automations and systems in practice. So definitely a big potential there to do so much interesting stuff. I'm actually planning on setting up, creating another playlist when I finish with this one, focusing on how to set up kind of these kind of no-code automation in practice by using AI automations, like for instance Make, also some other tools like Relevance AI, which I will get a little bit into as well, which has a lot of applications for setting up automations with an AI component as well. So definitely worth getting into Make and Zapier. They also have some kind of academy or learning section where you can watch a lot of videos for tutorials for how to get started with those. Really interesting stuff to get started with. Then, of course, is ChatGPT. Pretty much every consultant, in my opinion, should get as well versed as possible by using ChatGPT and similar open source large language models like that, because having that kind of back and forth with ChatGPT or similar models, as long as you use it in the right way, it has so much potential for boosting your productivity, providing more value in less time for your clients, and also being able to take care of the busy work underway, and allows you to do so much more stuff, which I'm really excited about. At least so much potential here. So that's at least what I think is really cool about using ChatGPT and other language models like that, especially when you also have these no-code automation tools like Make and Zapier. You can, when you identify something that you do again and again and again, you find some way to set up these automations so that these are done fully or almost automatically, so that you don't need to think so much about that. You can take care of building the business or proceeding forward from there. Relevance AI, this another tool which is really interesting. Is possible to connect some kind of GPT tools or AI tools up to doing tasks. Like it can be connected to basically setting up these kind of actions where you can make it be connected to your calendar or update your calendar or a task list or other type of things. So this can be kind of an extra component of ChatGPT functions or Make automations or similar, to be able to do more with these AI or automations here. And this can kind of be a component to kind of integrate these things for having both AI and automation into the mix. So Relevance AI, also a really interesting component, and I'm really looking forward to when I get the chance to set up another playlist where I set up some real some case studies showcasing how to set up some AI automations with Make and Relevance AI. That's definitely on the agenda right now. So, but for now, let's move over to something with enhanced data analysis and insights. So, of course, consulting services rely a lot on data-driven insights to provide high-value recommendations for the clients. And here is where it's relevant to use proper tools to actually get the data analytics you need to provide those recommendations and decision-making tools. So here, I like Power BI a lot. Works within the Microsoft infrastructure. They have a lot of powerful AI tools integrated with their kind of Microsoft infrastructure. Of course, you can also connect up Microsoft Copilot to it to have the generative AI component within there, so that if you are heavily reliant on Microsoft products like Excel, Teams, Azure, and so on, it just makes sense to use Power BI or Microsoft Copilot and these Microsoft-based tools. But if you're not using so much of those, it may be relevant to explore other options like Tableau, Looker. There are many options for setting up data analytical tools, and may also be relevant to just see what you can do with ChatGPT of some data, like or especially textual data like market reports, client feedback, research documents, and so on, and setting up something based on that, especially if there are larger volumes of documents you want to analyze. It may not be enough to use ChatGPT directly. maybe you need to find another tool based on ChatGPT or similar AI models, or you need to find some other alternatives for that uses this kind of document analysis with ChatGPT. So you can look into these if you're interested in that based on the documents. So here, for instance, integrate ChatGPT into the data analysis process. The process is possible to synthesize large volumes of client data. Of course, you need to be careful when using ChatGPT on this kind of data. Like usually, you have some sort of data privacy agreement, NDAs, and so on. You can't really use ChatGPT directly on data that is relevant for your clients. You need to be very careful about that. Make sure to not give out any kind of proprietary information, personal information, client information in general. There, be sure to anonymize everything if you're using ChatGPT like this, and not include any information that could provide some kind of link there. So be very careful about that when you're actually doing client work and using ChatGPT in this process. So just be careful with that. It has some applications here, but when using it for client work like this, just be careful. Like don't cross the edge, especially if you have NDAs and other agreements in place that prevents this type of treatment, and especially be careful about personal information. So just a note about that is important to provide. Also, in general, AI-powered client interaction tools. We already mentioned a bit about ChatGPT, but also kind of more customized chatbots, like with virtual assistants, chatbots, and so on, can be kind of the next step. If you have something specific that you want to kind of have back and forth with, where the ChatGPT directly may not be enough, it may not be kind of fine-tuned the way you want, and you don't have kind of the Microsoft Copilot or something to be specialized to that, then it may be relevant to use other tools like virtual assistants, chatbots. These are something that kind of we are creating for our clients as well. So pretty standard to set up with the OpenAI API and so on, but it's something that takes a bit more work to set up. So automating routine client interactions and so on. So yeah, that's something that's possible to set up as well. For instance, an AI-powered chatbot on your website, or like within WhatsApp or other messaging app like that, or just having some kind of assistant that you can communicate with in general about your work or about your situation in general based on what you need. So that can at least take care of some repetitive client interactions, and of course you can then focus on the high value personalized services while improving the efficiency in general. So how about the predictive analytics for decision making? So here, of course, it's possible to use ChatGPT and Anthropic for this as well. Like in some cases, like for initial market analysis, trend forecasting, and some client feedback processing, maybe. In some cases, so may have some use cases here, like not immediately on everything, but in some cases may be relevant to start with exploring how these can apply here for predictive analytics. But then for larger applications, it may be relevant to explore other alternatives like Google Cloud AI platform, Alteryx, or so on, to see where does these tools kind of fit in when it comes to applying these for AI or applying these for your services or your predictive analytics in general to provide a better foundation for decision making for yourself and for your clients. So of course, always important when using these tools, like don't just throw your client data everywhere into these systems, into these models. Of course, be very careful about that kind of data and where you're giving that out, if anywhere, because when using these tools, it can be very helpful, be very efficient for your work, but of course, be careful about how you're spreading this out in practice. So benefits, it's as usual, it's mostly increased efficiency, scalability, enhance client experience and some cost savings. So a lot of potential here for consulting firms as well. I mentioned a lot of other benefits for legal firms in the past 3 episodes, and here for consulting firms it's largely similar, but also more specifically this is what can be highly relevant for consultants, both consultants who work in kind of bigger consulting firms and also people who are kind of independent consultants as well, or running their own consulting businesses. So what are some practical tips for implementing AI in consulting firms like this? It's relevant maybe to start small with open source AI models. I guess usually if you are, especially within tech consulting, you've probably used AI pretty active, like tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and similar tools like already like 1-2 years at least already. But yeah, if you haven't adapted that into your work processes, into your workday so much yet, that's definitely the first step. That is kind of a must at this point, that this is something you use regularly for your work, and then that's the first step at least, like kind of an absolute minimum at this point where we're at right now, and then moving from that into some automation. So starting with some small automating some small repetitive tasks, scheduling, data entry, report generation, and so on. That can be a good start with automation, which doesn't affect too much, but also provides the chance to save some time. And also in making sure you have proper quality data. Like one of the reasons why a lot of, like 80% of AI projects fail, according to the Rand Corporation, is that they don't have kind of quality data when they implement these AI systems. So that's something really important here. Make sure you have quality data. Make sure to have proper data management systems to have the quality data you need, and invest in the right tools and systems to ensure this accurate, up-to-date data collection and management here. So also make sure to that these AI tools are integrated with existing platforms. Like CRM, product management, data analytics system, making sure that your tools can be integrated into these systems, platforms you're already using. So make sure that to maintain consistency, make sure to have some kind of understanding which systems are using and how, when you're implementing new tools like this, can it enhance your overall digital infrastructure and systems, and not just be something completely new that needs to like you're not supposed to adjust all your systems that you have from before to something new. It's rather that you adjust something new to work with the systems you already have that's working fine, but you will like them to work even better. Like that's ideal, at least in my view. So, and also of course train employees on AI tools. It doesn't matter how many AI tools you have if your employees, your people don't really know how to use them in practice to enhance their workday, enhance their productivity and the value they can provide to the business in general. So that's something that's really important here. Regular updates, workshops, and so on. Making sure that they can utilize that to the fullest extent. Also, some challenges and considerations. Data security and privacy, as I've emphasized a lot throughout this video, has a significant impact. Make sure to be very careful about making sure the systems comply with data security, privacy regulations such as GDPR. Also, when using ChatGPT, these tools not leak any client data, your own proprietary data, and so on. Make sure to be careful about what you share with it, that it isn't something that you wouldn't want other people outside the business or other people in general to have of information that they shouldn't have. So that's something important to use, like ChatGPT, so on, and other AI tools have a lot of potential, but be careful about what data you're giving out, especially personal information, but also other business information about yourself and your client as well. Also, some ethical considerations, especially around the transparency, potential biases in decision making. Like, it's one thing when ChatGPT kind of supports, or these tools support or provide foundations for decision making. It's another if you've coded in to make the decision for you. Like in most cases, you're not setting up the decisions or setting up the systems for it to make decisions for you. Maybe sometimes, and in that case, you should be really careful about that. It has been some complications with other businesses who have done that previously. But even if it's just providing a supporting like foundation, then you have to make sure that it follows a reasonable process based on how you want it to assess, based on the qualifications and criteria that you're setting yourself, making sure it follows that process properly and that it's aligned with kind of proper industry standard, has some kind of human oversight to make sure it runs properly and as intended. Also, of course, when it comes to client trust and adoption, this focus should be on educating clients, benefits of AI, benefits of how to apply this in practice, especially when it comes to consultants' work with the clients and using AI in this process. If some of the clients are skeptical or like unsure about this, may be relevant to start small, but it's important to ensure that clear communication about how this enhances rather than replaces human expertise, and how it can help the client grow as a business in general. But also, as mentioned, when using open source AI models like ChatGPT, important to ensure clients are aware of how their data will be processed, the limitations of the tool, and so on, and be clear on how the information data is properly used, which kind of systems you're using. If you're dealing with this kind of client data or so on, that you're very careful and understand the limitations and possibilities in the different tools, where it's possible, where there are stronger security measures than others, and so on. So for instance, ChatGPT may provide valuable preliminary insights, but still requires human oversight to ensure accuracy and relevance. So very important to use them in the right ways, of course. So what is the conclusion? AI is a great tool, and in general, we can be really efficient, can provide a lot of efficiency and while maintaining or even increasing the quality, and allow consulting firms like your own maybe to scale your services, scale your business in general. So it provides possibilities to automate administrative tasks, enhance client interactions, deliver data-driven insights, and so on. So it enables you basically to operate at a higher level without an increase in resources and personnel accordingly. So but if you implement this in the right way, you're able to stay competitive, meet growing client demands, and so on. So that's it for this video. Be sure to, if you're interested in finding more about how to integrate and implement a roadmap or a better kind of project for, okay, how can we proceed with getting started with, or what's the next step in how we're applying AI automation in our business for the maximum amount of value for our business, so that we can grow properly without risking being one of those who are ending up with in the 80% of AI projects who are failing. If you're interested in that, be sure to check the link for our AI automation discovery workshop. You can book a call with us for more information about how we can customize that workshop specifically to your business. So be sure to contact us. Check out our website for that. You can find that in the description below and in the resource document provided here also, with a link in the description below. So other than that, thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed it. We're putting a lot of effort into putting this together for you all. In the next episode, we'll go over to AI for data-driven decision making in consulting. So be sure to subscribe to be notified when the next video is out, and I'm looking forward to see you all there. So thanks again for watching. Looking forward to see you all in the next episode, and wish you a great weekend ahead.